Hey guys, this is Krista from the Moratorium. Do you like grisly gore and mysteries? Of course you do. That is why I suggest you subscribe to my blog, Suspended Animation, Dormant Stories Waiting to be Told, where we at the Moratorium offer a number of lurid tales from axemen running around New Orleans to phantoms in Texarkana. And if you're feeling especially generous, head over to our Patreon, where for just a couple bucks a month, you can help the Moratorium grow. And that would be pretty kick-ass. And remember, long live VHS.
Hey, freaksters and freakettes! It's Madman Tim Kornman. Or Timmy Mad Kornman. Or Tomunculus. Here at the Moratorium, we are celebrating bikinis, boobs, and blood in our first ever summer movie madness. So grab your boombox, a stick of juicy fruit, and your finest pair of scrotes, 'cause the madness is about to begin. Cue the music.
And in 3, 2, 1, I already forgot it.
You will be soon as big as a giant, or like all the others, dead.
You think I imagined all of it, don't you? You think I'm insane?
That's feng shui.
A match made in a bathroom. Just floating into the void. Me. Feels like a cartoon cat, like warming up before he's going to sing something.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, I guess it would be a meow meow.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of movies.
Wow.
I have done zero work. As for, upkeep.
Work around the house, dishes, mowing, stuff like that. All fallen by the wayside. So you can watch stupid 80s titty movies.
And I'm a happier person because of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I went off the charts. I went off the rails. That's why I guess we just mentioned to each other off air that, yes, let's make this a two-parter. Because I have too many things to talk about.
Wow, too many things.
I can't stop. Well, I think it's all these movies that we'll never get around to actually watching to do an entire show on, but I want to talk about them. So,
sure.
One thing leads to another.
Yeah, you're like, maybe there's more here than at first I
got to watching movies I'd never heard of. And I can't stop myself. And once I put them on, I'm just kind of glued there. I'm like, I've got to find out how this crap show ends.
Yeah, right.
I watched some very low budget things, and I've watched some, not necessarily newer, but movies that were very familiar to us back in the 80s. So,
yeah. That you revisited and you were like, oh, there we're dealing with some issues here that are way over my head when I was 13. So do you want to introduce us?
No.
Before we get into
everybody knows who we are. Yeah. Okay. I'm Tim. You're Jason.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome.
Oh my God.
Wait.
This is how we should open the show every time.
Yeah. I'm Tim. You're Jason. Welcome to the show.
Love it. Hi.
That's your favorite intro.
Let's get it. Let's dig in. You've got 8 movies that we have to talk about.
I'm pumped. I have not had enough coffee, and you've had how many kickstarts?
No kickstarts, but I am on. I mean, technically this is my second pot of coffee, not second cup, second pot of coffee.
Well, since your cups are pots, you just have a straw that you. Yeah.
I'd say I'd probably have a gallon of coffee today.
You've got a urinal right beside you.
Oh, I have to poop every 10 seconds. It's just one of the drawbacks. I'm on a squatty potty.
All right.
Squatty potty? Like podcast? I don't know. There's something there, but delete that in case we want to TM that. Or BM that, I guess.
Oh, jeez. Wow, you are on fire. You've had too much rest or too much coffee.
A lot of poop talk in the first 5 minutes of this podcast.
Just shit talking.
So this is a special, right? This is a special edition.
Yeah, it's a movie marathon that I still haven't named. Did you come up with something?
No, I didn't. I thought maybe let's just say some key words, like similar things that run throughout these 8 movies that you watch.
All right.
Would you say female breasts play a major role in?
Breastises, yes. There are many breastises.
What about water? What about bodies of water? How many movies out of the 8 would you say?
1, 2. Does a pool count as a body of water?
Well, we'll accept it.
Okay, 6.
Okay.
There may be more.
2 landlocked summer movies and 6 wet ones. If you know what I mean. How many boys/men that you cringed so hard at their lines that you had to physically turn your head away from the TV? Because I watched a couple of those where the male protagonists were just so loathsome that I couldn't even look at them at a certain point.
They're deplorable.
Deplorable, exactly. They probably all live in Florida.
And I would say out of the 8 movies I watched, there was at least 2 in each movie that had characters.
Deplorable men?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're off to a good start. I guess I did, now that I'm thinking about it, I just did not have a lot of, you did all the heavy lifting. I do not have, I don't think I finished a film that I started for this, but I did try to watch a couple of them, and the one that broke me actually occurs in Fort Lauderdale, so that might have something to do with it. So.
All right. Everything just seems to be going to Florida. There's man,
Florida man. I mean,
there's probably 5 out of the 8 movies I watched so far are based in Florida, it seems.
Yeah. I think there's a documentary called Florida Man, because I think it's because they got the title because that's how so many news stories start off with, and it will end with, murder, meth, just murder, drugs, and everything.
Florida. And Key West.
And Florida. That's where everything horrible happens.
I guess so.
Sorry if anyone is listening that lives in Florida. Write in and tell us if we're on the right track or not.
Yeah, Jonathan Knight is a friend of the podcast, and he lives in Florida. I need to hit him up with some interesting stuff.
Jonathan Knight?
Jonathan Knight.
That's the guy from Brady Bunch, right? Have we spoken about this?
Maybe. I've only mentioned him about a dozen times since I did interview him, way, way back in the day, because he runs B-Movie Madness.
Oh,
just a little shout out to Jonathan there.
Okay, gotcha.
He sent me a script just recently. He wrote a script that is, I'm just going to tease it. I'm not going to throw out any titles yet because I think it's all tentative anyway, but it's a slasher movie.
Cool.
And it is filled with some just crazy dialogue. And I enjoyed it. It was fun. It fits right into this category, but on a real B movie, low budget level. And I'm fine with that. If you give me a slasher movie that has a lot of boobs, a lot of blood, even if it has poor acting, because I watched at least 3 movies that had some very, very bad acting in it.
At least 3 out of the 8.
Yes, at least. But these deplorable characters. Anyway, Jonathan Knight wrote this script, and I read it, and I gave him some notes back, and I may have suggested an even worse. You know what this doesn't have? This movie doesn't have any necrophilia. That's what it needs.
I know you, and I can't believe you punching up a script. I'd be like, no way. Let's
keep that man away from my cocaine.
We're going to some dark places, probably.
So, but anyway, that's what I enjoy about some of these movies. I mean, some of them are really, really bad. And there were so many knockoffs on knockoffs on knockoffs that had knockers and blood.
Maybe we could do the kind of like hierarchy of where, this is the worst version of this, and this is, this was copying that. And we'll just point out all the much better movies.
And one movie that I'm going to talk about here in just a minute actually is a knockoff of itself.
Okay.
I just read this and it was kind of interesting. But let's get right into it, okay?
Okay, can I just say one thing before?
No!
I was just kind of clicking around IMDb as I want to do, and I just want to point out that in 2011, Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster made a movie called The Beaver. Okay, so I just throw that out there.
And I think Mel Gibson actually had it was a sock puppet or something that was a beaver.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Okay. It's disgusting.
Very disturbing.
Okay.
What should we keep bringing up Jodie Foster? Because she's in a lot of these kind of...
Oh my God, did you watch...
No, I didn't.
Okay, we'll get to it. By the way, like I said, I will just kind of be scattershot here. You're going to keep us on track, but just...
Sure.
I want to... I'm sorry, hang on. You might have to cut part of this out. I need to...
You got to listen to something.
I got to be looking at something.
No. Zip.
not like that.
Hey, buddy.
This is IMDb After Dark.
Hey there.
Ooh, I would actually probably pay money for that.
I've got your reviews today.
Ah, there it is.
Okay.
All I was trying to do is think of Jackie Earle Haley's name.
Oh,
I could not think of. All right, so I mean, he was in one that I just kind of clicked past and clicked around. Like I said, I didn't watch anything from beginning to end, but I did click around a couple of things.
I watched a lot of trailers.
I love Jackie Earle Haley. I think I probably saw, everybody saw Bad News Bears.
Right.
And it's 3 sequels?
Yeah, I think they went to Japan, right? Yes. Bad News Bears. The second one was Breaking Training, and the third one was Goes to Japan.
Right. So the categories for the summer Toyotathon or whatever, Boobathon. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't not like it.
Okay.
Did you know there was a Breaking Away TV series?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Okay.
I was just looking through Damnation Alley just because Jackie Earle Haley's in that.
Yes. I would love to. I haven't watched that in a long time.
We might have to put that on our list. That's 1977. Anyway.
Is that Jan Michael Vincent?
Yes, it is.
I love that guy. Isn't he an Airwolf?
Sure.
Okay, anyway, Jackie Earle Haley, love him. He is loathsome a little bit.
Yeah.
He's slightly loathsome. But I just want to point out that in Losing It, he's in a fedora.
So,
which makes it like 30 times worse. Losing It, have you revisited that?
I have not. But Jackie Earle Haley is kind of almost playing this, it looks like the same type of character in a movie that I just watched. Oh, that was John Stockwell as well. No,
yes.
I don't remember this movie at all, but we've talked about it.
Oh, it's got a cavalcade of Shelley Long's in it. Tom Cruise is the main character. His name's Woody. John P. Navin Jr. When you see him, as Wendell. I love those, like, when you used to be able to name somebody something and you're like, oh, well, he's the dork or the, virgin or whatever. Rick Rossovich was in so many movies. Yes. I mean, what year was this? Losing It is 83. Anyway, I love Rick Rossovich. He's just the big dumb guy from every movie. Yep. He's the boyfriend in Terminator.
Yep.
Is he the love interest in Roxanne?
Well, he's the one that is in love with Daryl Hannah, and Steve Martin is writing his lines for him.
Okay.
And trying to portray him.
Gotcha. Yeah, Cyrano de Bergerac.
I quote this movie too often. It's very quotable.
Yes.
But it's where he's got an earpiece in, and Steve Martin's like in the van trying to tell him things to say. And
yeah,
he says I'm afraid of worms, Roxanne. Worms.
Pretty good.
The best. It's good shit.
Yeah, gosh, seeing him older is kind of shocking. I've only seen him as like a super buff young guy, but
super buff old guy.
yeah, I guess so. I should have figured he would be in like like NCIS or one of those types of shows.
He'd fit in that, yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to say Jackie Earl Haley's name.
That's it.
And then I got caught up in losing it. And
great.
That has a ton of people in it, and I haven't seen it in probably...
I don't remember if I have seen it.
We'll get to it eventually.
All right.
Okay.
Jackie Earl Haley, most notably recently, was Watchmen, playing Rorschach, and the new Freddy Krueger, which everybody hated.
I have to admit, I did not watch the entire movie.
Okay.
I know there's a big controversy about, whether, and I don't remember if we talked about it too, but whether Freddy Krueger's in the canon of the films, was he a pedophile or not?
Right.
Because it's been hinted around, but I don't know. Did we ever come to a conclusion that it specifically? Okay.
And I think the new Nightmare on Elm Street kind of made it seem more
harder.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
glad we got that figured out.
Answer: absolutely nothing. Welcome to the moratorium.
Yeah, it's more of like a choose your own adventure.
Right.
If we believe them about this, then
right.
Do you remember that Piranha had claymation in it?
No.
Oh man. Okay.
You want to talk about that now? Or?
No. Okay. I'm
Okay.
also tabling this discussion because
damn it.
Piranha, the gifts that it bestows upon you there's so many people in it. Paul Bartel's in it, Dick Miller, Barbara Steele, Keenan Wynn, Bradford Dillman.
Of course.
Who might knock out, what was his name? Was Alan Fudge?
No.
I think Bradford Dillman might knock out Alan Fudge as the patron saint of our podcast. He just keeps on popping up and everything.
He does.
Let's table Piranha, and I will bring it up for next week, okay?
Gotcha.
I'll know more about it then.
All right. Well, let me start off with the first movie that I watched, and this is something we've talked about plenty of times on the podcast, and I finally got around to watching it. And a lot of these movies also I didn't want to pay to watch because...
You don't think they were worthy of your hard-earned money?
That too. Although the other night I was really drunk and decided to watch a movie with my wife, and we went to pay-per-view and we're looking at stuff,
Where is this going to go?
Yeah. Bow, bow, bow. Anyway,
that was a sitar.
So we clicked on something and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good. And she hastily hit the purchase button.
Man.
Immediately when she hit the button, I was like, oh, shit.
Was it a Charles Band production?
No, it wasn't. It was something that we had actually paid for and watched before.
Oh, okay. Wow. So it must have been like really good, like a Oscar-worthy.
No, we couldn't remember it because it was not memorable.
I see.
Was it.
You're like, maybe I didn't get it the first time. I'm going to try it again. So what was it? You've completely washed it out of your brain?
Well, yeah, exactly. I will probably end up renting it again because it sounds good and forgetting that I have purchased this movie time and time again. But it was The Seventh Day. Is that it? Shit.
It's like a devil.
It has Guy Pearce in it playing a priest.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It's real new. Just came out not too long ago.
Right.
He's the old priest and there's a young priest. Kind of has an exorcist vibe.
Right. Right. This is it. Seventh Day, because it has Keith David in it.
Great.
And he's in the very beginning.
Wow. What does he look like now?
He looked like an old priest.
Okay.
But as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh shit, I remember this entire movie, except for how it ends, and I don't care to watch again.
I usually get roped in by those kind of like religious, exorcisms, and they're fighting the devil and stuff like that. They're very rarely any good. Like I can't even think of the last new one. I mean, and I'm not counting like poltergeists and ghost activity. I mean, real Oh, I guess like La Llorona would be the last good Oh, and 30 coins. That's...
Oh, right. I still haven't gotten into that. Damn it.
Oh, God, man. It's wild.
I'm watching 80s shit, and I'm not watching good new shit.
But you're just rewatching all of the things that drinking beer has just... you've popped those brain cells, and now you gotta...
I have gone full on podcast body, and so...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm working out right now as we're doing the podcast.
But so the Seventh Day movie also has Stephen Lang in it. I only bring him up because they just released the trailer for Don't Breathe 2.
Uh-huh.
So that looks pretty good as some interesting little fight sequences. But yeah, the first one was good.
You know how those character actors work where for a few years they are just required to be in every... he's been in so much crap lately. VFW
and it doesn't look like he's going to stop, and that's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He's got a good face and voice for horror.
Yeah. So anyway, let's jump into the first movie I watched because, like I said, we have talked about it endlessly, and I'm sure you can continue talking about it.
My hand is just hovering over the keyboard.
I finally watched Grizzly 2.
Yes,
The Revenge. So, did you get a chance to watching it?
I did not. And it's one of those that's like it's famous for being unreleased, right? Like it.
Exactly. And there's some controversy behind it. And I'll read that here in just a minute.
Love that.
You can watch it on YouTube. I was surprised since it was just released earlier this year that it was available so quick. And you have more information on this, but it was lost for the longest time.
Yes. For 40 years. It was made 40 years ago and still unreleased until recently. And
as it says here in the trivia, filmed mostly in Budapest, Hungary in 1983.
It's already a great start for your American giant bear movie.
The Hungarian government seized most of the production's equipment for the non-payment of bills. The production was never completed, but Markham, the Cannon Group, bought the film in 1987 and planned to complete the post-production and release the film. But the company began having financial troubles in 1988, and the film was forgotten. Now, the existence of the film was questioned until a work print surfaced on the internet in 2007.
Wow.
So, interesting stuff.
Now, the movie, because like I said, I'm going to watch it like as soon as possible. Does the film occur in Hungary? Like the story? Is it?
No.
Okay. It's supposed to be in America, right?
It seems like they're in the backwoods trying to put on some sort of Woodstock. This giant stage, and which Louise Fletcher's like some sort of freaking mayor or whatever, and she wants everything to go off without a hitch, and she's got investors coming in, and but she's acting in like another movie.
Sure.
It's like they pieced it together from what they had, and they made a coherent, that's heavy air quotes, a coherent film out of it, but it does seem very disjointed.
Yeah, I think all of her scenes are she's just in an office talking on a phone to the other people who are actually in the movie. Louise Fletcher, Laura Dern, George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, John Rhys-Davies, Deborah Foreman.
Charles Cyphers is down there, who played Brackett in Halloween.
Yeah, how do we know Ian
McNeice? He looks familiar. Oh, okay, yeah. I just saw part of Ace Ventura 2 the other day for some reason.
He plays Baron Harkonnen in the sci-fi version of Dune. He does kind of look like oh gosh, I'm sorry. What is the guy from Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, the mailman? What is?
No, not really. That was Charles Durning.
Was it?
He reminds me more of the guy from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Otho?
Yeah.
We just watched that. His name's Otho in the movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Kenneth McMillan played Harkonnen. Sorry.
Okay.
These are the types of digressions that I need to just keep to myself.
So anyway, Grizzly 2 The Revenge. You've got Charlie Sheen, Laura Dern, and George Clooney are camping out. Laura Dern's kind of like dancing for George Clooney. They're kind of a couple and, you know, trying to get hot and heavy. Charlie goes off to like sleep by himself. He doesn't even look like himself. He's way young.
Yeah, he should have brought one of the Coreys with him.
Yeah, he should have. That's horrible. So,
cut that out.
But anyway.
I was talking to myself. Cut that out.
Right. The bear attacks are rudimentary. We use a lot of first-person camera shots. You know, there's a lot of chasing.
Yeah, those insert shots of the bear are it's one of those things where that could be occurring anywhere. Like, you don't...
It says here that the special effects supervisor, Nick Maley, created the animatronic bear for the film, but it was not able to get it to work properly. So a new bear was created with special effects. It was going to be added in the film, but the post-production was never completed. In the leaked work print, the animatronic bear appears only briefly in the final scenes.
Oh, man.
So
that's pretty rough when that's the title of the movie and
animatronics to work.
Yeah.
Well, they keep saying that, you know, this bear is absolutely huge. I mean, this giant bear.
Right.
But you don't get a real glimpse of him. And when you do, it's just like his face roaring, like in a forced perspective shot, you know?
Yes.
It's not good.
Yep.
But it was fun to watch. I mean, there was a lot to like about it. Deborah Foreman, she's damn cute in this. John Rhys Davies, and I
imagine John Rhys Davies dressed like you know, Daniel Day-Lewis from Last of the Mohicans.
Right.
It's pretty awesome.
He's playing like a Native American who's been camping out in these woods, kind of looking out. I don't know if he's coming after this bear because it killed his family. There was like one or two lines that explained it. And I think that in one of those lines, somebody stated that, yeah, he's not a Native American. No, his family was killed and he kind of went off the rails and has been living in the woods ever since.
Ooh, wow. So he just like got that outfit from like the gift shop or something. And he's like, okay.
Your gun has a cork on the end of it.
Does anyone have a sandwich of any type? I'm starving.
I'll even take the Subway non-tuna sandwich.
Yeah, whatever. Mystery fish. Ew. That's the real horror. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
I kind of do because I want to know, is it actually fish? And they said it's not tuna,
they can't figure it out.
Is it fish?
They've done scientific tests. They can't figure out what it is.
It is the hot dog of the fish. Right.
Ugh.
Just flippers and scales.
Ugh. It's just dolphin teeth ground up. I'm sorry if you said already. Does this have anything to do with the original Grizzly, or did they just
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it just Grizzly Gone Wild. They keep going back and forth to this setup on this big music concert thing. They're setting this thing up for long periods of time. I don't know if they're rehearsing or actually performing. Some of them actually look like they were filmed as a music video because their instruments aren't even like plugged in, you know?
Right. I think they're just waiting on Axl Rose to he's like refused to come on stage. So they're just like stalling for time.
I can buy that.
The stage looks like the Scorpions are going to come out. I just happened to stop on a little bit of trivia about that on IMDb. Do you have that?
Go ahead.
It says the concert scenes were filmed after a performance by Nazareth. Can you think off the top of your head what the most famous Nazareth song would be?
No. What do you got?
Man, I'm coming up blank. I know I should.
Hair of the Dog?
Yes, that was
Love Hurts. That's
Love Hurts. Yes.
Yes. I fucking hate that song.
Not Love Stinks by whatever that guy's name was. The crowd was unaware that the following act was not a real band and were being recorded for a film. So that's where you're going to get, like, it's just some...
That's when the Hungarian government got involved.
Yeah. They're like, this is too stupid. We have to shut this down.
Shut it down. So, spoilers, George Clooney, Laura Dern, and Charlie Sheen are killed off in the first 7 minutes of the film.
Wow, really? They're not even in the movie?
No.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious.
You see where that comes into play, and we see that pretty often in some of these bad movies. You get a name or that has become a name. Let's put him as a top billing, although he shows up for, one day and has actually 2 minutes of time on screen. So
we just talked about that. I think that Anthony Hopkins was only in Silence of the Lambs for like 5 minutes, and he got an Academy Award for that. So
that's it.
Man, how do you get in on that?
I don't know.
Just become an amazing actor, I guess, is probably how you do that.
I can be there in a couple of weeks. I'm good.
Yeah, all right. Just one of the guys in that, Jack Starrett, towards the end on his the cast on IMDb.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I could a picture of him.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was in First Blood. He was one of the guys that was hunting down Sylvester Stallone in the woods. He was one of the, the sheriff's department. Yeah.
He's also one of the Johnsons in Blazing Saddles. There's Howard Johnson, and he's Gabby Johnson.
Gabby Johnson.
I know that's not a bad movie, so it's not really kind of our thing. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not that we do bad movies, just Blazing Saddles is a little too well known, but.
Yeah. Anyway. But, it was fun. There was a lot of cheap effects. At the end, when you get to see the bear and his demise, it looks like it's a teddy bear.
Guy in a suit, maybe? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. They pieced it together. I'm glad they were able to put it out, but are we better for it? I'm not sure.
We've been waiting 40 years for this. Groundbreaking new horror movie.
All right, let's move on to my second movie.
Okay, can I also say that, I'm sorry, one last thing about Grizzly 2 is Valentine Monnier
sure.
is the reporter, uncredited. She was also in Devilfish, so I figured I should point that out. Right. I thought maybe this guy, Andre Zotz or Zoots, whatever, I thought he might have done Devilfish, but no... He has not done anything that I can pronounce. So,
all right,
just click off of that.
Well, now I'm going to go to a more well-known movie.
Oh, great!
And we have brought this up several times, and maybe this doesn't necessarily fit into our Summerfest, but like I said, I was trying to look at Hard Bodies, can't find it available at least for free.
Dang it! What about Soft Bodies?
I'm starring in that one right now.
It's just Jonah Hill getting oil rubbed into his... Oh, wait, he's skinny now. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I watched one that was like a bikini car wash, but it wasn't bikini car. It's like Bikini Summer. I watched half of a movie, and we talked about this briefly on air. Yeah, and I can't figure out which one it was. I watched half of it, and there was more nudity. I was embarrassed to watch this by myself, and I'm like looking around thinking, God's watching me, and I'm going to be struck down.
Yes.
I felt naughty. Well, maybe I should have had some clothes on, but that's beside the point.
Tim.
Anyway, in watching movies like that, it took me down different roads, and I just happened upon Secret Admirer.
Okay.
1985. So this is not necessarily a summer movie, but it is kind of like an end of high school type movie, right?
Sure.
C. Thomas Howell, Lori Loughlin, Kelly Preston, Dee Wallace Stone, Cliff DeYoung, Fred Ward, Casey Simasco, Courtney Gaines, Corey Haim, Scott McGinnis. I mean, it just goes on
Lord.
and on.
And also all of the, like, even the characters, the supporting characters, a lot of those I recognize too.
There's a ton of people in this, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
This is written by Jim Koof. And we have brought up Jim Koof I don't know how many times because he's possibly our favorite writer ever because he wrote The Boogans.
Right.
Wacko, which we talked about that one.
Yes.
Class, Up the Creek, Shaker Run, Stakeout, The Hidden, another Stakeout.
God, this guy is amazing.
Yes. Operation Dumbo Drop, maybe not so amazing.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Another Stakeout?
Yes. That was the one with Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh.
You saw it.
I'm not ready to say that yet, just yet.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, we've talked about Jim Koof, and I'm going to talk about him some more here in just a minute. So let's go back to Secret Admirer, who's written in part and directed by David Greenwalt. Don't know him.
We have looked him up before. Couldn't tell you why.
A lot of TV stuff.
Yes.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's
Angel,
probably
The Commish. Yeah.
Yeah. This was his first movie, I think.
A lot of fun. This movie was a lot of fun. Now, granted, the plot's pretty simple, and we've probably seen this plot somewhere else, but C. Thomas Howell receives a love letter, and he thinks possibly it's from the girl that he's in love with, which is the preppy queen, you know.
Is this
Kelly
high school?
Preston's playing. Yes, it's high school. Kelly Preston's actually like 24 years old during the making of this, when C. Thomas Howell is like 17, you know.
Right. Impossibly good looking.
Yeah, he was. Lori Loughlin's so cute in this too. I think this is the same year that she did the New Kids. And I can't wait to talk about the New Kids, but I'm not going to do it this time.
Okay.
But Kelly Preston does get topless in this. Boobies. There's actually a lot of nudity in this. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is the film that we talked about before where I thought I was just a little bit uncomfortable seeing like supposed teenagers getting ready to have sex. And she was being really slutty in this film. So
great.
A lot of language. And that's when I was like, wait a minute. Oh, and after realizing it was rated R, so that's already giving it kind of this different level on this summer type movies. You got the ones that were PG-13 that were just out for your laugh, One Crazy Summer, and that spectrum.
Right.
Versus, you know, hard bodies and that they were just going for the sexual drive of young men.
Yeah, that is true. I think maybe sometimes I do remember movies having like, you know, nudity in that just because that seemed like everything did. But, you know, there were cleaner versions of all of that.
Right.
You know, and probably better movies because, you know, when it's a B movie and you don't have the greatest actors or the greatest script, I'm just throwing some tits. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. And I have no problem with that. Boobs.
No. Boobies.
Give praise to Kelly Preston. She will be missed.
Wow.
D. Wallace Stone and Cliff DeYoung are married.
God. Cliff DeYoung is just like the default dad from every movie.
So D. Wallace Stone, Cliff DeYoung are C. Thomas Howell's parents.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Ward and Lee Taylor Young are Kelly Preston's parents.
Right.
Okay. Lori Loughlin just is kind of, she's actually the one who wrote the love letter because she's been in love with C. Thomas Howell, even though they grew up and they've been friends forever. And it's like, he actually sees her as a sister and more than a love interest.
Right.
And they kind of joke about that, but
yeah,
you know where it's going to go. And
sure.
Actually, C. Thomas Howell tries to write Kelly Preston a love letter and gives it to Lori Loughlin to give to Kelly Preston. Lori Loughlin, even though it's in a sealed envelope, she can't stop herself. She opens up the letter and reads it, and it's atrocious. And she asks, you know, did you write this after reading Hallmark cards? And actually, it shows him later trying to write another love letter in which he has a bunch of Hallmark cards laying around. So it was kind of a, you know, it's cute.
Sure.
So Lori Loughlin writes this amazing love letter, gives it to Kelly Preston. She falls in love with the idea of C. Thomas Howell that's been made up through Lori Loughlin. Anyway, this love letter kind of gets passed around.
Mm-hmm.
D. Wallace Stone ends up picking it up and thinking that her husband is having an affair, right? It just happens to get slipped into Cliff DeYoung's like school books. He's taking like night classes that is being, the professor for this night class happens to be Lee Taylor Young, who was Kelly Preston's mom in the film, right?
Gotcha.
Cliff DeYoung opens his book and thinks it was from Lee Taylor Young. Lee Taylor Young ends up getting the letter. Fred Ward reads it and thinks that his wife having an affair. Anyway, everybody's trying to cheat on everybody.
Everybody's horny, which is a running theme of all from movies of this era.
Right. So it's just a conglomerate of misconceptions about this letter of whose it's from and other people just trying to get it on with other people. It's fun.
Do you ever see Cliff DeYoung nude?
No, but he gets in pretty hot and heavy with Lee Taylor Young.
Okay.
So
when you paused for a second, I thought you had just decided to stop the podcast because that question had broken the podcast. Can I just say that he is in Pulse, one of my I'm not going to call it. We've got to come up with a different category, but I would not say that is one of my favorite. I guess you could call it a horror movie, horror, sci-fi. Mm-hmm. But man, just for whatever reason, I must have seen it 50 times. I don't know.
Yeah, so we've talked about it, and I don't remember it, so we're going to have to revisit it.
Yes.
So Pulse, 1988. Everybody go do your homework. Go look it up.
PG-13, so nothing to take your baby to it.
Yeah. So anyway, I can go down Cliff DeYoung's trivia and information, D. Wallace Stone. We're going to trip over these people time and time again. So I'm going to pick on somebody that we've never talked about before, and this is Lee Taylor Young.
Okay.
She's really cute as a mom in this. She's been around for a while.
I recognize her.
She has 72 credits under her belt. She was in Soylent Green, 1973. Before that, she was under one I clicked on called Under the Yum Yum Tree.
Yes. I know that only as a movie that has a dumb name. I've heard that several times.
So I just happened to look at that just briefly. And it has a girl by the name of Nina Talbot, which we will actually trip over her next week when we do part 2 of this.
She should really get up off the floor. We keep tripping over her.
That's right. Ryan O'Neal is in this Under the Yum Yum Tree, but it also has somebody named Bobo Lewis.
Okay.
And I was like, who the fuck is Bobo Lewis? Mm-hmm. And it's a woman's name. This is
Bobo.
Her name's Barbara Lewis, but they named her Bobo. But Lee Taylor Young and Bobo Lewis were both in a movie that I can't stop talking about. Can't Stop the Music.
Oh, brother. We're going to have to talk about that. I mean, I don't want to necessarily, but it's just too crazy not to.
We will have to go over it.
The Village People movie is what I know it as.
That's right. So Lee Taylor Young she was in 16 episodes of Picket Fences, an episode of Empty Nest.
She was in The Big Bounce, which I think is Elmore Leonard's first book adaptation, I think.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
It's just a detective. What's his detective's name? I don't remember if it's the same. Anyway, it actually has Ryan O'Neal, too.
Okay.
His name's Jack Ryan, but it's not that Jack Ryan.
Wrong Jack Ryan.
Oh, they remade it, with stupid Owen Wilson, Morgan Freeman, Gary Sinise.
Wow.
Remade it in 2004. Anyway, none of this matters.
Nope. Lee Taylor Young was in Hellraiser Inferno.
What?
It says she's uncredited for a Cenobite.
What? That has to be a typo, right?
I think so.
There is no way that's just... Hang on a second. I get to the bottom. Did you know that there are I was shocked at how many Hellraiser sequels there are now. There's
yes.
If you count a video game, there's 13 sequels to the original one. It's insane.
And it deserves a reboot, which hopefully we're going to get a new Hellraiser series, right?
Oh my
hopefully
God.
that actually comes to fruition.
Good one.
Fruition.
I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out.
We'll find out. The last thing that Lee Taylor Young is working on right now is an American Gigolo TV series that is in production right now.
TV series?
Yes. I don't know. Do we really need an American Gigolo TV series?
Please.
It has John Bernthal, Gretchen
The
Mol,
Punisher.
Wayne Brady, Rosie O'Donnell.
Okay, let me stop you right there. American Gigolo, the TV series with Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes.
Is there a way to click off a tab and have it never display any of those words again?
That's exactly what I thought. So since we just brought up Rosie.
The monitor that this is on, I'm just going to disconnect the monitor.
All right. This also has Leland Orser in it. I'm a big fan of Leland Orser.
Who dat?
Leland Orser was in Seven. He was the one that had the leather strap attached to his junk. Yeah.
Oh my God. We have got to come up with, I'm sure people have already come up with something. He is always the panicky weirdo that has something wrong with him, because he was the doctor in, not the doctor, but he was in Alien Resurrection, I think.
Right.
And he's the one that, grabbed the guy and made the chest burster go through his head or something.
Yeah.
He's always that character. He's always sweaty and panicking.
He's actually really, really good at it.
Yeah, he is. He's made his own kind of niche character.
Mm-hmm. In Seven, his acting was over the top and
for sure.
So believable. Hey, look, he was in an episode of Empty Nest.
Why Empty Nest? Why now? We also just saw him in, that's why he was so fresh on my brain is, he's in that X-Files where they have quarantined the, they were doing some type of deep, drilling.
Okay.
Into the, molten, who knows, but, they discovered something that, it was weird. It was like a parasite or something, and it burst out of your, neck.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that, what's his face from X-Files just watched one of those nature videos where those zombie ants or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh.
Also, Shawnee
Smith?
Yeah, Shawnee Smith was in that episode too.
Awesome. That was called Firewalker.
Yes, there was something about lava. Oh, and that episode also had one of our favorite actors. Oh man, it's hard to link together TV shows. He was the guy from, he was in Cabin in the Woods and...
Bradley Whitford.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, if you go you can click on the actual episode and it gives you the whole breakdown.
Yes, I see it right now. Yep.
Yeah. That's going to come in real handy when we do the TV cast.
So just click on something.
Yeah.
And then it'll show me what I'm trying to see. Okay, good. Good to know that. I don't know how to use the internet. There, I said it.
But no, I think I'm going to end up doing a deep dive on Leland Orser at some point because he's married to Jeannie Triplehorn, by the way.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh, we're going to have to do a completely different podcast about that.
Yeah.
Now I actually really like him. I love Jeannie Triplehorn. She's a national treasure and she's from Tulsa.
That's right. Anyway, Lee Taylor Young, just wanted to give her a little props because a little cutie from this movie.
A little cutie that's probably, 20 years older than you.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Little cutie.
Secret Admirer, a lot of fun. You guys can go out and check it out. You can watch it for free. I'm not exactly where I saw it. I'll put a link up to it on the website. It was a lot of fun because there was a lot of back and forth with, so Dee Wallace Stone and Cliff DeYoung think they're cheating on each other. Same thing with Fred Ward and Lee Taylor Young. So Fred Ward goes to Dee Wallace to talk to her about their significant others getting it on. So they decide to try to get it on.
Oh man.
It's real awkward.
When you're talking about Fred Ward being a love interest. That's where it kind of falls apart. His face looks like a pork steak.
Mm-hmm. And he was playing a cop in this film, so he's kind of hard-nosed as it was, yeah.
Of course. Let's get John Saxon in there.
Yeah. This does have a moment of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where you got C. Thomas Howell trying to, when he finally realizes that Lori Loughlin's his love interest, so he's trying to chase her down. He's running through alleyways, jumping fences, going to a freaking port that he should not have been allowed into. This was like a giant seaport.
Okay.
That he was trying to find, because Lori Loughlin's going away for months on this sailing trip with this new high school group. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's just a sidebar note that she was going away and he has to go rescue her from herself. So.
Gotcha.
But anyways, a lot of fun. That's my second pick that I watched.
Awesome.
And not necessarily a summer movie.
Well, I mean, the events happen during well, I guess it's in California, so it's the same temperature and everything year round. Kelly Preston was in a lot of those types of movies around that time. In 85, she was in Mischief, which is like probably dirtier than you remember it being, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, Kelly Preston was not afraid to...
show it off.
Show it all off. I mean, if anybody was going to, but...
She was also in Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin.
God, dude, we are doing that. Okay, we're going to have I don't even know. We'll have to come up with a catchy name like we didn't do for this, but...
About the Bandiverse.
I think saying post-apocalyptic is not even... That's just... anything nowadays. They're Mad Max ripoffs, basically. I think even probably what year was Damnation Alley?
Oh, geez, I already passed that.
That one might be the exception, because I think that was actually kind of an original idea and probably happened, before Mad Max. But like, Metal Storm. Metal Storm even has the guy from Road Warrior. He kind of looks like the guy from Moody Blues. He's the good guys in white, with the big liver lips. Yeah. He's the leader of that, but he's the bad guy in Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin. I think he is Jared Sin. I think that's what it is referring to.
Michael Preston?
Yes. He kind of looks like the guy from the Moody Blues. Kind of.
Can we take a break real quick and get right back on this?
Yes.
Hey, freaksters and freakettes. It's Tim from the Moratorium. Do you like the sweet sounds of our witty banter in your ears every week? Well, head on over to our Patreon, and for only $3 a month, you can get even more. In the director's cuts of our movie episodes. On average, that's 20 minutes more of our wisecracking, jive-talking, and lip-flapping laughter straight to your ear holes. Go to themoratorium.com and click on our Patreon link, and you'll find 5 awesome tiers with tons of goodies. You can also find our Teespring link on the website for even more awesome merch. Thank you for your support. Now on with the show. So, no, Metal Storm does need... I think we might have to look at this.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Either we're going to do a Bandiverse deep dive.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could do a Bandiverse podcast.
Chuck Band. I feel like we can call him Chuck Band now.
Chucky.
Hey.
Metal Storm also has Tim Thomerson and Richard Mall in it. Can't get enough of Richard Mall. Kelly Preston was also in Christine.
Yeah.
I don't remember her in Christine. She's down there near the bottom, so she probably has a small part.
Well, when you said that, I was like, well, yeah, of course she is. And then I was like, oh, I don't recognize her.
No, I don't remember her. Sorry, Christine, since I clicked on it, also has the redheaded counselor from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yes.
That tells a joke about the frog in the blender.
Yes.
Stephen Tash, who is the kid who, he's the male student in Ghostbusters who's being tested for, it spits his gum out. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
There's a ton of pictures of Kelly Preston in Christine, which I've watched many, many times. Oh, you're right. He does have a crazy head of hair in that. Is that the only movie that William Ostrander has been in?
You mean not John Travolta?
Not John Travolta. An incredible simulation, but not John Travolta. He's Buddy Repperton in that. He's the bad guy.
Yes. No, he's been in jack shit. So
I do not like his profile picture, which is from Christine, where you're just looking at the bulge in his pants as the camera is on the floor.
Really forced perspective there.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Okay.
Kelly Preston was in 10 to Midnight.
Okay.
That was Charles Bronson.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to rewatch that one because this was pretty dark.
I'm just going to guess and say that she's his niece that gets raped and then murdered, thrown off a building or something.
Anyway, we'll revisit that at some point. Kelly Preston, Space Camp, Twins, The Experts, since we were talking about John Travolta just now. John Travolta and Ari Gross, Deborah Foreman.
Man.
Brian Doyle Murray. Man.
That seems like by default we need to talk about that movie.
Yes, I think so. Anyway, Kelly Preston, she will be missed.
One of the good dead ones.
That Secret Admirer, a lot of fun. You guys go check it out. Get to see Kelly Preston's boobs.
What does the C in C. Thomas Howell stand for? Have we talked about that?
Christopher. We've talked about that. We've talked about Lori Loughlin enough. I think she's finally out of prison.
Yeah, thank God. Our long national nightmare is over.
All right. So I'm going to go on straight into my third movie, unless you want to talk about Piranha for a minute.
No. But it is still playing in the background. I just saw Bradford Dillman take a swig out of a flask.
Go Dillman.
I guess he's kind of seems like kind of a lush in Piranha.
Since I was on Jim Coof.
Yeah.
I started flipping around on his stuff just to check him out. And I came across another movie that I had to watch for this thing. Made for TV movie, written by Jim Coof.
Love that guy.
Whitewater Rebels.
Oh, okay.
Whitewater Rebels is 1983. And it reads, a renegade canoeist. Illegally runs.
Wow. Is there anything sexier than a renegade canoeist?
That is exactly why I watched this film, is because of that opening.
We have to learn how to play instruments so we can start a band called Renegade Canoeist.
I think that's awesome. I can play the iPod.
Yeah, we'll work it all out.
So let me go back and finish reading this. Whitewater Rebels, a renegade canoeist, illegally runs a river to protest its exploitation by a greedy corporation.
That's it?
Starring James Brolin,
Ooh.
Catherine Bach, Richard Lynch,
Ooh.
Nancy
Scary.
Parsons.
Nancy.
So Nancy Parsons was Beulah Ballbricker.
Oh,
Right? Yes.
Good Lord.
And she was also in Motel Hell, wasn't she?
Yep. She's the wife, Ida Smith.
Nancy Parsons is the local newspaper reporter.
She's a nosy, annoying. You get the picture.
So Catherine Bach, she is doing a story. She is also a reporter from a more substantial newspaper from out of town, so she's out of place. And she just happens upon the story of James Brolin being this renegade canoeist. You can't not laugh at that.
It captured the imaginations of the nation when that...
The opening of the film is James Brolin, and he's not in a canoe. He's in a kayak. I don't know why they couldn't go with a renegade kayaker.
Yeah. It kind of belittled, it kind of like, it's less, a little less. What's the definition of renegade? That's what I need to know.
Well, he starts off like at the top of this fucking mountain to go into the river. It goes on for like 2 minutes. The entire credit sequence of him going down this rough terrain to get to the water, you know?
Oh, man.
And when he hits the water, he is totally vertical. And it looks like it chops the guy in half.
Yeah. Right, exactly. His body just floats up and is carried quickly downriver.
It shows him just going through this river and doing tricks and flipping his kayak. You know, it's somebody else, obviously.
Sure.
He was still in good shape around this time, 1983.
Oh, that's his, he's prime.
Prime Brolin. Richard Lynch plays like, of course, the head of this corporation that's
evil
trying to...
industrial guy.
Yeah. There are several scenes, and like I said, this is made for TV, so it has the commercial breaks or when they do that still frame of the actor's face, and a lot of times it's like Richard Lynch just getting ready to, jump into action and kick somebody's ass.
Yeah. Can I say that Kai Wolf, who plays Eric Klammer, saw a German name, I had to click on him. He's the guy from Three Amigos. That's the German, the German pilot or whatever.
He's been around for a while. Doing different characters. He was in Barbarossa. He was in Firefox, playing maybe a Russian and not a German, but
sure.
We don't know any better, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Basically the same, right?
He was in a movie called Night of the Zombies or Die Nacht der Zombies.
I love it.
That sounds so much better.
So much scarier in German. There's also a couple of episodes of Scarecrow and Mrs. King. Probably just a vague assassin that's kind of like hiding behind a tree. I assume that's what he is in every single one of these TV appearances. And
in this, he's like the super kayaker. He's the man. They're actually filming commercials of him kayaking on this river.
Sure.
And, he's the world's, best kayaker who just happens to be on the payroll of...
Richard Lynch. He is a kayaking assassin.
Yes.
Kayak assassin.
Let me break down the plot.
Let's.
There's a freaking dam that is in need of repair.
They want to flood a town so that they can put some,
James Brolin just notices that the river is getting higher and higher. And this is because the dam's leaking. And Richard Lynch, who is I don't know how he's related to the Corps of Engineers, comes in later to undermine everything that he's done. It's vague, and I kind of drifted in and out of it anyway.
Yeah.
So James Brolin ends up hooking up with Catherine Bach because she's like, oh, well, this guy keeps getting arrested because he's kayaking illegally on this river, I guess. And
it's breaking all the rules.
The sheriff's department trying to trap him with nets hanging down from freaking bridges. I mean,
how else are you going to capture a renegade kayaker?
That's right. You got to throw a net on him.
Exactly.
I need a German kayaker in a big net.
Yep. Problem solved. He'll be dead by
daylight.
Dead by daylight.
Anyway, so Catherine Bach ends up hooking up with James Brolin to get his story, and they're both investigating what's going on. And in the meantime, they find and take pictures of this dam and it's leaking. They have to get away. And of course, all of the bad guys with Richard Lynch and the police officer, the sheriff's department that is also kind of corrupt and going after James Brolin as well.
Sure.
Catherine Bach and James Brolin are in a 2-man kayak going down and being chased by 3 other kayakers And there's a whole action sequence of them going down. So many people getting hit by paddles.
Yes. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Lightly nudge them? If there wasn't a giant kayaking action scene in the middle of it, I would question my own reality.
That's what we came here for.
Yes.
Now, if this was done by Golan Globus, the kayaker would have skipped off a rock and exploded.
Oh, yeah. Just had like 10 pounds of dynamite in the bottom of the kayak. Throwing sticks of dynamite at each other.
That's right.
What if you had two kayakers that both had like missile launchers?
We're going to have to write that. I'm going to cut this out. We're going to get on this immediately.
Canon movies are like if Grand Theft Auto was a movie. The video game was a movie. Can just do anything.
And I'm okay with that.
I am more than okay with that.
I started looking at another actor here by the name of Pepe Cerna.
Yes. Got a couple of tabs on him. Yep.
Yeah. So Pepe Cerna was actually, he played Reno, Nevada in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
He's been around for quite some time.
Once you see him, it's like, oh, yeah, he has a very memorable face.
He was in The Jerk.
Yep.
He was in Scarface.
Yep. He was in American Me.
Oh, right.
With Edward James Olmos. And man, look at that. It's William Forsythe, Edward James Olmos, Pepe Cerna, and a Japanese guy that he was in, his name's Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa. He was in Showdown in Little Tokyo. He was having sex with the prostitute and then cut her head off while he was having sex with her.
Oh.
I mean,
all right.
Look, I didn't make the movie. I'm just reporting on it, but it actually is a pretty good movie and it's very quotable. Brandon Lee says he wants to eat sushi off of naked chicks. There's a lot of talk about Dolph Lundgren's wiener and possibly Brandon Lee's wiener too.
But of course.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Pepe Cerna
Pepe
was in Out of Bounds. Do you remember Out of Bounds? I brought this up before. Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
I love this movie, and I'm afraid to watch it again to think that it's probably not going to hold up.
Yeah, he was Anthony Michael Hall's like first like kind of serious turn, I guess.
Sure.
See if he could do drama. 86. He looks pretty young.
Pretty young.
I remember liking it, probably because I just liked him, you know, from Weird Science, which was probably my favorite movie.
Pepe Cerna was also he was in Red Dawn. He played Aardvark's father in Red Dawn.
Sure, we all know Aardvark.
Yeah.
Who was Aardvark?
I don't know.
What the fuck was that? Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
Who the fuck is Aardvark?
He was in Silverado. He played Scruffy in Silverado.
Yes. That's the one that I for sure know him from, recognize him from.
Aardvark was Doug Toby.
Okay.
Oh my God, which has a connection to another film. Don't look him up. That I'm going to cover next week. Damn it.
I'm already looking at it.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and tease it that yes, I did watch Summer Camp Nightmare, and I will be covering that next week.
Okay, great. Good. Thank you for doing that for us.
But yeah, Doug Toby.
He definitely is one of the disposable Red Dawn kids. It's like, I know all of these brat packers. You guys better watch out because you're not long for this world.
You are so wearing a red shirt.
He was also in, oh yeah, holy shit, dude. Okay. See, you shouldn't have. Now I'm into it. I love the cover of Summer Camp Nightmare.
We will talk about it extensively. I can't go into it now.
The movie can never live up to the VHS box art because it's got lightning. He's made his own T-shirt apparently. A lot going on in that poster.
There is a lot going on in the movie, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it.
Awesome.
Whitewater Rebels also has Bill Vint in it.
Okay.
And who else do you know the name is Vint?
Is he our stunt guy?
Yeah, he's an actor. He has no picture on his profile page.
Nope, he doesn't.
But If you look at his trivia, yes, he is brother of Jesse Vent.
Oh!
Jesse Vent was in our movie that we covered just not too long ago, Forbidden World.
Oh, right. Yes. He was the main character. And stunt guy, right?
Sure. You keep wanting to say he's a stunt guy.
These podcasts really are like, it's like I roofie myself before we watch these things.
And after.
Before and after.
You got to make sure it's all covered. I have no recollection. Just recently, the guy contacted me on Facebook that I went to high school with, and I vaguely remember what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I hung out with him.
Right.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Totally erase these memories.
Yep. Hey, you got to make room for, a TV movie with a renegade kayaker. You just replaced your childhood friend with only so much room in there.
Right. I was just going to say the director of Whitewater Rebels is Reza Badawi, whatever.
Badawi.
Directed a ton of TV.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that we've ever talked about, he's directed an episode.
Yep. Okay, so you do the freaking connect the dots here. He's the stepfather of Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Wow.
We just keep on coming back to
Vic Morrow.
Now, I'm sorry, is Vic Morrow her real dad?
Correct. Wow, very interesting.
Let's move on because we'll get really bogged down.
Man, I got caught in a kayaker's net. A renegade kayak net.
This movie is, wow, layers and layers.
So, but Reza has done every TV show you've ever wanted to see.
Yep.
We got Incredible Hulk in here, I think. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Baywatch, Cagney and Lacey, and The Heat of the Night. Jake and the Fat Man.
Part of the trivia is that he is the one that came up with Mary Tyler Moore throwing her hat into the air at the in the opening credits of the Mary Tyler Moore show. So
interesting. There, you got that.
That's the biggest moment I can think of.
That and a token, and it'll get you on the bus.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to close the book on Whitewater Rebels. It was fun.
Can I just say, James Brolin, I was kind of clicking through his stuff. In the last probably 40 years, every picture you see of him, he kind of looks like he doesn't know where he's at and is slightly irritated about it. But if you look at James Brolin and his son together, Josh Brolin.
Right.
So I love Josh Brolin. He's going to, oh my God, dude, he's going to be in the new Dune.
Oh, awesome.
Man, that's going to be good. But
my wife fell asleep to Dune last night, by the way.
The old TV show or the movie, the David Lynch movie?
David Lynch movie.
Okay. Yeah. That is not a movie to go to sleep to. You have some very strange dreams. But anyway, there's a bunch of pictures of them side by side, and their heads are so perfectly box-like.
Wow.
Like if you got their heads in a box from Amazon, you would have, where you have to kind of, there's like suction where you have to like hold the bottom of the box with your feet. Yeah. That's what it would be like to get their heads out of there.
That's good.
Perfect cubes.
What's in the box?
Exactly.
That's what was in the box.
That's what was in the box.
Anyway, James Brolin, he's still around, but like you said, he may not know where he is. He would have only been like 43 for Whitewater Rebels. So yeah, he was prime Brolin.
Yeah, he was the titular rebel in that.
Yep.
The renegade kayakist.
You want to see him in action. Kayaker. So I got one more movie. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before I get into this?
No. Let's bring her on home.
Let's wrap this up on a high note. Actually, this is not a high note. This movie is pretty atrocious.
Oh, good.
It's a newer movie, and I don't know why I clicked on it. It's probably because of the title, Pool Party Massacre.
Pool Party?
Pool Party Massacre.
Okay.
So, it doesn't matter how bad the acting is. It doesn't matter how bad the effects are. If you give me a little bit of boobs and a little bit of action with a serial killer, I'm happy.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to satisfy my needs for trash cinema.
That's good for us.
Yes.
That's good for everybody.
Pool Party Massacre 2017. You can watch it for free on Tubi.
Oh, it's a newer movie.
Written and directed by Drew Marvick. If you look at Drew's stuff, he looks like a big-time fanboy, but he's been working on other films for quite some time. 31 credits as an actor. New movie coming out called Chihuahuas.
Okay. Chihui Hui.
Tagline is, they're not just ankle biters anymore. Anyway.
That's unfortunate.
He was in a movie called Slasherette Party, which was...
I see that.
Yeah, can't wait to see that. Meat Hook Massacre 4.
Okay.
This guy looks like he's been around for a little bit doing some special effects as well. It looks like he got his friends and family together to make this movie, Pool Party Massacre. And if you look in the trivia, there's only one thing in the trivia that says, despite its warm summer appearance, the majority of the Pool Party Massacre was shot in the winter over the course of 6 months shooting schedule.
Okay.
So this is a weekend warrior movie that was being made.
Gotcha.
And the movie, does it suffer because of this? Maybe, kind of.
Can breast implants freeze?
I don't know. Somebody look that up for us. Get back to us.
Email us, please.
The movie takes precedence of rich chick. Her parents are going away to like New Zealand or Italy somewhere. They're going away.
Going on a kayaking trip.
They give her permission to have a party and just don't get pregnant, I think they said.
Like, yes, you can have a party.
Yeah.
Just don't have a massacre. And then she's like, we're going to have the biggest massacre you've ever seen.
The script is written to, even the parents are just oddball weirdos when they were talking to their daughter saying, well, no 3-ways in our bedroom.
Ew.
And they're like, well, if it wasn't for a 3-way, we wouldn't have met. And it's real awkward. The acting is, I don't think you could call it acting. But they are playing rich bitches. So, you got Valley Girl talk a lot, and who cares? What did we come here for? We came here for the deaths, and which there are plenty. There are a lot of weapons basically on a pegboard.
Okay.
Right. So he's just putting
board.
down one weapon. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, look, here's a nice little hand tree trimmer, that's used. We got garden shears. We've got all sorts of different weapons being used. There's even a weed eater that's used on a girl that's in the shower. So scenes that you've never seen before in any other film. So
Awesome.
The blood kind of has the consistency of Leon Perrin's.
Oh, yeah. Arterial blood.
Yeah, it's very loose. All right. That's very watery blood.
Yeah. Makes a good marinade, though.
Of course, when the girls are there and like hardly anybody gets in the pool, even though it is a pool party massacre. They're just talking shit about each other until one by one, these girls walk away and then get killed. There's a nice little scene. A girl gets the wrong side of the hammer up through her neck and jaw.
The claw side?
The claw. A couple of guys show up, of course, and there's a couple of sex scenes. One of the guys is a real jerk. They're all overacting their parts.
Yeah.
But his death goes on for a while as he takes a picture of the main girl's mom into the bathroom to go jerk off to it. And that goes on forever. It just keeps coming back to him, and he's still just beating it. And I'm just...
Is there a crappy Fast Times?
Nope.
No, none of that?
Nope, none of that. But he does get killed in a nice, cool way. A drill through the wall and into his back. That was kind of cool, It was one of those long, like, half-inch drills with it would have only been better if he would have had the drill bit on a guitar,
Sure. But that's a slumber party massacre.
Right. This
Those
is
are
a
two
pool
different
party massacre.
Yeah, let's be clear. Two completely different things. That was a kill that has been in several, I mean, probably every Friday the 13th, where part of the kill depends on the victim kind of cooperating with the killer a little bit. Because if you felt a drill in your back, my instinct, just personally, would be to kind of like step forward away from the drill instead of like, you know what I mean? Once you feel it, it's like,
you're like, oh,
that hurts.
Yep. It doesn't seem like a good weapon, but
no. Now, in like a City of the Living Dead situation where you have like a lathe or, you know, something like that where you can actually put secure the victim to it somehow.
Yes.
That makes more sense. You know what I mean?
So the kills were fun, and that's what we actually came for this movie. I mean, as we do for many of these horror movies, you're here to see interesting new kills.
Yeah.
This one, going back and forth to the pegboard, it was kind of fun. I mean, so we got an old lady that shows up to talk, to complain about the noise, and the killer goes to the front door to kill her.
Right.
Then the pizza guy comes over, and yes, he gets it too. He gets a Sawzall to him. Gosh. The killer pulls the body in and carrying the pizza at the same time.
Cool.
It's fun. It's a fanboy movie. Is it well done? No. Is it enjoyable? Somewhat.
You be the judge.
Yeah. You go out and watch it. It got a 4.3 rating on IMDb, you know?
Yep. Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Okay.
But we'll probably see more out of this guy, Drew Marvick. He did a segment in 13 Slays Till Xmas.
Okay.
And he's got a new movie coming out called The Las Vegas Ripper.
Okay.
Anyway.
Awesome.
So that's what I got. That was a couple of good movies, couple of bad movies. Still a lot of fun and still more to talk about because I can't quit watching these movies.
They are enjoyable. I mean, you kind of know what you're going to get, and they don't usually stray from the formula. Boobs. I mean, obviously.
Boobs
and blood.
Now, Piranha, as you brought up before, it has had several sequels, but was the original as exploitive as the later ones?
Well, it is a Roger Corman produced movie, so there are
ample boobage.
You know what? I really, thinking about his formula, it really is. You know, because like Humanoids from the Deep, which we just did not too long ago, the nudity in that, it's so gratuitous, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like you would never think you would see bare boobs and a ventriloquist dummy in the same shot before. You know what I mean? But Piranha is, yes, there are boobs. I mean, I almost like want to say while credits are still rolling. It's within the first 10 minutes, so it's right on target for Roger. And, you know, Joe Dante is one of his, like, kind of disciples, you know, or not disciples, but one of his young up-and-comers. And, I mean, it's like clockwork, you know? He came up with a formula, and it just works. So, but I don't think Piranha has too much, just, like, gratuitous for no reason nudity. But the very first scene... Look, I want to talk about it next week, but a lot of these movies, a lot of what pushes the plot forward is that the people in it are just catastrophically stupid. You know what I mean? Like the first nude scene, it is a guy and a girl. They are hiking. Forget about it. Don't wonder where or how or why. At night with those old backpacks with like the aluminum frames that looks like it's just like a bag of stuff like a folding chair that you've strapped to your back. But the guy sees a sign for a, do not enter, will shoot on sight, military base. And he's like, let's go in here and just check it out. And when they get in there, they have these kind of like retention pool, you know, like it's in the lake. They're obviously doing something. They're obviously like testing the water or something.
Yes, like looking for the lead or
Sure.
the amount of salmon.
Right. Brain eating amoebas. They're studying like green algae or, blue algae or whatever. So, of course, they immediately strip off their clothes and jump in.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? You're obligated to. It's still very well made. You know what I mean? It's Joe Dante.
Sure.
And we'll go into that when we talk more about it next week.
I wanted to bring up Deborah Raffin.
Yes.
Because she was in...
one of those that you just talked about.
She was in Grizzly 2, The Revenge. Yeah. She died in 2012, so she never got to see the finished film. So she may have been better because of that.
Sure. Might have forgotten about it.
We talked about her extensively, Deborah Raffin, because she played Gloria Munday in the TV series for Foul Play.
Okay.
We have to visit that at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to watch that.
Sounds wild. She's also in Death Wish 3.
And she was in a movie called Dance of the Dwarfs.
Okay, sure.
Because I can't go anytime without speaking of little people. But this is not about little people. And we have talked about this film before because it's also titled Jungle Heat.
Ooh.
And we talked about this because it reads, an anthropologist hires a down-on-his-luck helicopter pilot to fly her into the jungle because she's investigating reports of reptile men. The down-on-his-luck helicopter pilot is Peter Fonda.
Oh, okay.
But it also has John Amos in it, and that's probably why I've talked about this movie a year ago.
Sure. I just want to point out that Deborah Raffin is also Christina Rain's friend in The Sentinel.
And in The Sentinel.
She's in that scene where Christina Rains just passes out and basically shoves her head through a plate glass.
Wait, which time?
Yeah, exactly.
Which scene in which she passed out?
She's like a fainting goat. Knock over everything on the coffee table.
Always something breaking.
Yeah, she's the female Dick Van Dyke. She's got ottoman behind her.
So yeah, that was one of my little strays that I failed to pick up when we were talking about Grizzly. So
she's faking concern because Christina Rains has a headache. That's why I'm looking at it right now.
Right. So anyway, Dance of the Dwarfs was directed by Gus Triconis. What a name. But Gus Triconis, he did The Evil, which is another Roger Corman film that I remember from back in the day because it had Richard Crenna. I vaguely remember this film, so we may have to look at it at some point. If you look at the box art, you'll know exactly what it is.
I'm sorry, I'm still just Dance of the Dwarves might be the best movie title of all time.
And it's not about little people. I'm very disappointed.
I mean, it does say towards the bottom, Teresa Reyes as Midget. The character's name is Midget.
All right. Gus Triconis also directed a movie down here in 1975 called Supercock.
Okay. Now we're just... I did not like that laugh. C-O-C-K? Supercock?
Supercock, starring Ross Hagen.
This better be about a chicken.
An American cowboy in the Philippines gets mixed up in cockfighting.
Oh, God.
Supercock.
I don't even know. Is that a comedy? Is that a... What?
It says comedy drama.
Ugh,
the two things that really mix together.
Oh, Nancy Kwan, how could you?
Who's Nancy Kwan?
She was in everything around that time that called for a vaguely Asian woman. I think she's Filipino, maybe? She was in The World of Susie Wong.
No, she's from Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I recognize her as, I think she was in a TV series that was like a spy thing.
Kung Fu?
Sure, but...
Hawaii Five-0?
Yes. Anyway, Gus Triconis? Yes, I remember The Evil.
But I don't remember the movie.
Yeah. I do like the one picture that it has of just the women screaming. I think he did a movie called Nightmare at Noon.
Okay.
That had what's the big guy from horror show?
Oh, right, yeah.
Can't think of his name.
Tango and Cash?
Brian James.
Yeah.
Yes, the guy from Tango and Cash. Anyway, he directed a really crappy, low-budget movie with him. That's all I was going to say. And he did Supercock.
Now, that was directed by Nico Masterakis.
Oh, that's what it... Okay, yes. I knew it was a Greek guy, but I couldn't think of who it was. Okay.
Wings Hauser, George Kennedy, Bo Hopkins.
Oh, we have got to talk about that at some point.
Brian James on the cover looks terrifying.
He is an albino dressed all in white. I don't know what the cover looks like compared to the actual movie, but yeah, he's an albino.
Scary.
Yes. But so we're doing, I'm sorry, you said we're doing Supercock next week for our...
You would think. No, we're actually going to be doing part 2 of this movie marathon.
Awesome. I might actually watch a movie before then.
All right. I do want to go down at least one little trip down some trivia on Secret Admirer real quick, just because I found it interesting. This film was part of an intense front page of newspaper controversy in Puerto Rico in early of March 2016, when it was revealed that the writer-director Eduardo Ortiz had basically plagiarized it in its entirety, word for word, scene for scene, and shot for shot when he did his film Vasos de Papel. Okay, so he remade this for another movie. I mean, I don't know why he's saying it's plagiarized it. Maybe because he put this off as being his own. He didn't actually write Secret Admirer. But this 2016 movie was like a remake, and maybe he was playing it off as his own.
I see.
So
interesting.
Says, as of March 2016, neither Jim Koof nor David Greenwalt, who had written the original script, had issued any kind of statement regarding this plagiarism controversy.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I need to know.
C. Thomas Howell did most of his own stunts in the movie. It says, i.e. jumping fences.
Oh, okay. Sure.
We talked just briefly that Corey Haim was in it. Corey Haim is playing the younger brother to C. Thomas Howell. He's really young in this, and he's basically steals money from his brother and puts him in a predicament later on in the script. So, you know, it's just kind of a cool kid brother scene.
Gotcha.
There's a guy by the name of John Terlesky.
Okay.
Who is down here on the list. I couldn't even point him out in the movie. I don't know how I could miss him, because this guy is like 6'5".
No, he's great. He's another one of those guys that was in freaking everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's in one of the Deathstalkers. He is Deathstalker in one of those sequels.
Part 2.
I think he's in Chopping Mall. He's the guy that is like constantly chewing gum in Chopping Mall.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
So yeah, he's been around for a while. I just started looking at him. He is credited in the soundtrack of High Fidelity.
Yeah, what's that about? I saw that.
I don't know.
I don't remember him ever like playing a instrument in any of these movies. You'd think they'd work that in if he was able to do it.
He has a lot of directing credits for TV, some newer TV shit.
Yeah, I thought I was going through his actor thing, and it was actually his director. Yeah, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
He was in the movie called The All-Nighter. I think we've talked about that. That looks like a movie we should be watching
for this.
Yes.
It's like Bachelor Party or something.
Yeah. A Southern California co-ed parties with her roommates and flirts with the surfer next door. Now, she should have gone for the renegade kayaker.
Oh my God, she would just be
canoeist.
Immediately wet.
The All-Nighter has Dee Dee Pfeiffer,
cool,
Joan Cusack, Pam Grier, Meshack Taylor.
Wow, he was in Crazy People. God. I went to the theater to see that.
Is that Dudley Moore?
Yes, and Daryl Hannah.
Yeah. Not funny, was it?
Awful movie. Awful.
And then didn't Funny Farm come out like just after that? And they tried to...
Well...
Neither movie was funny.
Funny Farm makes crazy people look like a multiple Oscar-winning movie. I mean, when you put the word funny in the title of the movie...
and you don't deliver...
And you don't make anyone laugh. Oh, God.
All right, well, let's rip this up.
Okay, let's do it.
Are you done?
Yep. I accept to petition to actually call our podcast Renegade Canoeist from now on. And we'll just let, hopefully... That is, I've never heard those two words put together. And now
nope.
I will never be able to hear either one of those words without following it up with the other one.
You're welcome.
Renegade Canoeist. 2
words that made me take an hour and a half out of my time to watch the movie.
That really grabs you. Well, good. That was fun.
Do you have anything else to add?
I don't. Except that I will be watching a movie for next week. I won't let...
movie.
At least one. I won't make you do all the... Although it seems like you've had an all right time watching those.
I have. I've got cookie crumbs and cheese sauce dripping from my beard.
You're either a glutton for punishment or you've recently received a head injury. Or both.
You summed up my life.
Hey, calls them like I sees them.
All right, well, let's wrap this bitch up. Jason, tell everybody where they can find us.
Just go to themoratorium.com.
Just do it.
You jackals.
And you can find us on all the social medias, well, all the most important ones, I guess. Our Facebook group, our YouTube page. We've got all sorts of clips that I put clips to different pieces of our movies that we've watched. Our Facebook group is still growing. We got 750 members. Lots of fun going on there. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, posting daily on all those.
You think maybe you can get a clip of James in the kayak or in the canoe?
Put it on a t-shirt right now.
Awesome.
Need it. Tim Kornman, Renegade Canoeist.
See? Yeah. It works for everything.
It works. All right. If you'd like to help support this podcast, please head on over to our Patreon. And for as little as $1 a month, $1, you can help us pay to watch better movies. You want us to cover better movies? Well, it comes at a price.
Yeah.
My wife is like, you are not spending money on that crap.
Nope.
So head on over to our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. I'm going to give you some stuff back. I'm going to give you the director's cuts to our movie episodes. Now, you may not know this, but I cut like 35 minutes out of Humanoids from the Deep. Wow. Lots of good stuff in there.
Can't imagine what that 35 minutes had.
It had good stuff. I hate cutting out some of this stuff, but it's necessary.
Yes.
So head on over to our Patreon if you want to hear it. It's a lot of fun stuff in there. All right, guys, let's shut this bitch down. Jason, you got anything else to offer?
No.
All right. Until next week, maybe I'll come up with a name for this marathon. Probably not.
Just called the Renegade Canoeathon. Renaming everything.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
You've been listening to a special edition of The Moratorium, an MT Cornfield production. Tune in next week when Jason and I dive right back into the deep end with the Summer Movie Madness Part 2. We're going to get all oiled up and for sure get sand in some unsightly areas. If you have any movie suggestions or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
This is too stupid. We have to shut this down.
Shut it down.